welcome back to another Colorful Keto with Dory. So, this afternoon we did a lunch with the Countess of Low Carb, and it was on Facebook, and Facebook did not like us today. I don't know, it was glitchy, we had issues. So, today I'm going to remake the recipe that we made with the Countess so that she can link it into the YouTube video so that all together you guys can see it, fingers crossed, as one piece. So today, this is what we're making. We are making Mermaid macaroni and cheese, Dinosaur macaroni and cheese, we're making keto chicken nuggets for toddlers, and we're making some keto goldfish. So kind of a variation on a cracker for your kids. So I want to tell you guys, in the good win, lose, fail category, because things fell apart this morning, I always try recipes for the first time. So I got to learn a couple tricks in between this afternoon's live and what we're going to do now. So it's going to be a little bit easier and a little bit better too. So the first thing I'm going to say is that when I made this afternoon the cheese pasta, now I've tried 2 times to make funky shaped cheese pasta using the 2-ingredient pasta recipe. It's delicious and I love it, but no matter how little I cook them, the shapes fall apart. Hey! So this is what we're gonna do instead. We're gonna skip the egg and we're gonna make the pasta just out of cheese. We're going to put that on our hot vegetables instead of cooking it. So instead of boiling our cheese to melt it down, we're going to add it to our hot vegetables. So it'll kind of melt as your kids eat it, and I think that will be a bigger hit. So we're going to use a 1/2 cup of mozzarella. Now you can use sharp cheddar, you can use any kind of cheese that you want for this. I'm using mozzarella because we're going to make it funky colors, and that's going to take colors better. So this is going to be the easiest pasta you ever made, guys. This is just going to be melted cheese. So I've got a 1/2 cup of mozzarella, and I'm going to put it in the microwave for 20 seconds. And we're going to melt that down. We're going to add a little color. We're going to put it into our molds, and we're going to chill it. And then we'll get our veggies ready to go with that. Now, the other thing that we tried to do this afternoon is I wanted to do chicken nuggets that were specifically toddler chicken nuggets, because all day long I can show you guys how to cut up a chicken breast and bread it and make little nuggets. But I know that when my son was small, it was that weird piecey meat that he liked, and I don't know why, but kids like that. So today we made chicken nuggets out of a canned chicken meat. And I'm going to say they worked out really good, and we're going to shape them a little bit better. So we've got our cheese melted, and I'm just going to give it a stir there. So it's nice and melted, and I'm just going to divide this into 3 different sections, and we're going to color a little bit of it. So I'm just going to divide off one little blob at a time, and we're going to color it. Now the beauty of this is too, guys, is if it starts to set too much, you can just remelt it a little bit again, and it's going to, as long as you don't overcook it and you're just melting it, it's not going to ruin it, and you can start again. So the beauty of this, can't go wrong. So the first section, let's do a bit of green, and let's do this really pretty, cool, bright lime green. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of green food coloring too, and it's just melted mozzarella cheese. So, and again, if you cannot have food coloring, if your kids cannot have food coloring, look at natural foods for color. A little bit of ground up spinach or broccoli in this would make it really pretty and green. So what it's given us is this nice little blob of bright green cheese. So I'm going to divide that into 2. We're going to use 1 for our boys' plate, and we're going to make that in the Dinosaur. So we're just going to take our melted cheese, and we're just going to pop it into the Dinosaur mold and squeeze it in there good. And then the other green one is going to be for our Mermaid plate, and let's make it this really cool seashell. And we're just going to press that into there. Okay, and then our next blob, let's do that. Let's do purple. Purple's my favorite. So we're going to just add a little bit of purple color to it. and mix it up. And again, if it starts to set too much, just put it in the microwave for like another 5 seconds so that it will melt a little bit. And I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it in the microwave for 5 seconds. And it might honestly even only take 3, so I'm gonna put it in for 3. Just enough to warm it a teeny bit. Perfect. So just enough so that I can mix it around and get the color blended through. And then I'm just gonna melt it just a little bit more. See how I've got the color through some of it, but it's not all the way through. So I'm just gonna melt it again for another quick second. Okay. So we'll give that an, oh, that's much better. And then same thing, we're going to divide up this purple one to use some for the girls' plate and some for the boys' plate. So it gives you a nice little blob of purple, swirly, kind of looks like Play-Doh cheese. And we're going to take that and let's see, let's make 2 stars for the girls because the stars are pretty small. And we're just going to press that into our mold. Now, when I did it with the egg, it definitely has to be cooked because it would be raw egg. But this way, you won't have to cook it. So if you just put it on your hot steamed vegetables, then the cheese is going to melt right into your veggies. And then we're going to take, same thing, we've got this cool purple melted mozzarella cheese, and you can kind of work it in your fingers to warm it up a little bit too. And then we're just going to, same thing, we're going to press it into this little dinosaur mold, and I'm going to get it pressed in there good and then show you guys. Okay, so we've just pressed it into our little dinosaur mold. Now we've got our last color. I'm gonna say let's do some teal. So our cheese is kind of gummy again. So we're just going to put it back in the microwave to melt just for a minute. Well, not a minute, for about 5 seconds. I don't want to say a minute because then you'll cook it. And we just want to melt it. We don't want to cook the cheese. Because when you cook the cheese, then it'll turn into little crackers. And we're going to see that when we do the keto goldfish. And I also learned a good thing about those when I tried them. So when I did them this morning, they didn't have enough seed flour in them. So they melted down like a cheese crisp. But again, not a bad thing because I love the cheese wisps. And the texture was very similar to a cheese wisp. So I added a little bit more pumpkin seed flour to it this time, and we're going to roll it out and we're going to try again because I honestly, guys, I don't believe in failure. If I try a recipe and it doesn't work exactly the way I thought it would, then I'll try something else. Next time I'll make it a little bit different or try a slightly different variation. And what I love about what I do with you guys is it's, you know, win, lose, or draw, we do it all together. So we've got our nice little blob of teal cheese. So I'm going to put that in the microwave just for 5 seconds to melt it down a little bit so that we can press it into our mold. And I'm going to show you guys what happened with the chicken nuggets that I made earlier because they actually held together pretty good. So we used canned chicken and mozzarella cheese and egg white to keep it together. But I was thinking to get a more uniform shape, we're going to cook them in a little pan. I'm going to show you how to do a microwave version. And I'm going to show you how to do like a little mini, it would be like a chicken meatloaf that you could make for Valentine's Day. Just because why not? I've got the can open and we may as well use it. Okay, so we've got our little blob of cheese melted again. And we're going to divide this in so that we can have some for our boys' plate and some for our girls' plate. And we used a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese for this all together. So this is not an awful lot of cheese, it's just a little bit. And I'm gonna, same thing, I'm gonna pop them into the dinosaur mold. And I'm dividing into 2, so we're gonna have 2 teal cheeses for the boys. And I'm just squeezing it down into, and this is a silicone mold. This one I got at a bakery shop, but the silicone molds I find work better for this than the plastic style molds. So then we've got our blob for the girls, and let's make them into, let's do seashells. I like seashells. So we're just going to press them into there, and I'm going to let this chill while we get the rest of everything else on the go. And then once you put it on your steamed veggies, they'll melt as you go. So these are our girls, and these are our boys. So that's how many little pastas we got out of a half of a cup of cheese, and we made 3 little flavors with them. So those are going into the fridge, and I'm going to show you guys what I did for the chicken nuggets. And then, like I said, we're going to put them into a little container so that they're a little bit more uniform, because although the taste is really, really good, and it's definitely the PC chicken I was going for, I want something that's less of a blobby shape, because, I don't know, just because. Very, very tasty though. Very, very tasty. So, I'm going to grab us a different bowl, and we're going to start the chicken. And for some reason I thought I had another bowl handy, and I didn't. Okay, so for this we're going to start with the same base. We're going to melt some cheese, and we're going to use about a half of a cup. I used a half of a cup to a half of a can of chicken. So I only used half of the can of chicken, and I made 6 nuggets this size when I made it earlier, and we had our weirdness with the Countess. Now I was thinking, if I were to bread this and then deep fry it, it would be exactly like a PC chicken nugget. So I think I'm going to save a couple and bread them and deep fry them and see how that works as well. So we're going to take a little bit of the cheese, and we're going to melt the cheese first. And then we're going to add, I used egg white for this because egg white is where the protein is. And I didn't really want them to be yellow colored, so we're going to use egg white again, just because. So we've got our melted cheese, and it's not completely melted, it's just starting to melt. Okay. Now to that we're going to add a half of a can of canned chicken, just canned white breast meat chicken, and we're going to break it up and kind of flake it up. Okay, so we're going to add that, and I'm going to break that up a little bit better as I mix it. And we're going to add a bit of egg white. So this is, honestly, it's very similar to a chicken fathead dough. If you guys have seen a recipe for that, it's very, very similar to that. So I'm going to put it in the microwave just a little bit to melt that cheese so that it will mix a little bit better. Now, in the recipe for fathead chicken dough, it calls for an almond flour, and I omitted that, and it's still stuck together really nice. So I'm going to go with that, and we're still going to omit the flour. Just because of the carb base in it, I'd like to be able to lower the carb count by not adding the almond flour. So we're going to mix this all in. And it's a little bit of interestingness to kind of mix it in there, because your cheese wants to melt a little bit separate from your chicken. And I'm thinking, to battle this, we're going to, let's blend it up, because I think then it's going to mix together a little bit better. Now, for the keto goldfish that I made, I did blend those as well. Now, the recipe called for 1 ounce, and I don't know exactly how much an ounce of cheese is, because that's weighing it depending on the weight of the cheese. But I used 1/2 of a cup of cheese, and then I used 2 teaspoons of egg white when I made it. And let's plug this guy in. I'm pushing the button like it's plugged in. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of egg white, about 2 teaspoons worth, about an egg white's worth in all honesty. And we're just going to give that another quick little blend. Now this is something you could make with leftover roast chicken as well, or rotisserie chicken if you had leftover chicken breasts. I just know that when my son was small, he didn't like the whole pieces of meat. For some reason, he liked the piecey meat. He would eat fish sticks, but he wouldn't eat actual breaded fish. So it gives you a nice texture, and then we're going to put that into our little baking pans. So we're going to do one small one here, and that I will probably end up cutting into, you know, 2 nuggets or 3 nuggets, however that works out size-wise when it cooks down. So I'm just going to show you that. I've just put it into the little pan, and then I'm going to show you how to do some of it in the microwave. So I'm going to put some into this microwave pan as well. I love these for my breads and my mini loaves and my muffins and all of that kind of stuff as well. And I'm just going to make, you know, one in there so we can microwave that. And then I want to show you the last one. Because I'm going to make it like as if it was for Valentine's Day, I'm going to add a whole bunch of Frank's Red Hot to that, because that's what my guy likes and that's what I like. So the remainder of what we've got left, I'm going to load up with Frank's, and it'll be like a buffalo chicken style mini meatloaf as opposed to a nugget. So I'm going to mix that in there, and I'm going to put a bit more because, again, we like the Frank's around here. Go away, dog. No chicken for you, dog. Okay, and then I've got just this little pre-made heart-shaped baking pan, and I'm just going to press that in there, and then we'll just bake it like a little meatloaf. And actually, let's see, if I've got enough, let's divide it into 2 so we can do his and hers, because I've got enough meat in there. We may as well do his and hers. So I'm just going to kind of level it out in there like that. And then when I plate them, when I serve them, I probably most likely will do them as like a garnish for a salad, where it would be on the side and just look kind of pretty, and then drizzle it with some Frank's Red Hot sauce. So if you're looking for, you know, something pretty and easy and quick for Valentine's Day, maybe something that your guy can whip up that isn't too hard. I think blending a can of chicken with some cheese and an egg probably isn't that hard. Okay, so we've got our 3 little containers, and I'm going to pop them in the oven. And these are going to cook really only for probably about 10 minutes. You'll be able to tell when they're cooked all the way through, because you can definitely tell that they're cooked and that they've held together really well. They're not piecey or falling apart. And I'm just going to put a little hot sauce on this one, so I can have an idea of what it's going to taste like. Oh, with the hot sauce after. Fantastic. Okay. So, I'm going to show you what we did for the keto goldfish. Now, this dough needs to be chilled for a minimum of a half an hour. And what it called for was, again, that weird 1 ounce measuring of cheese. And then it called for 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of almond flour. You put them into your food processor, and then you blend them. So you do not melt the cheese for this one, you use food processor. So I used a half of a cup of cheese. I put 1 tablespoon of rendered bacon fat instead of butter. Then I added some white cheddar flavoring to it. Now, what I found when I cooked them earlier in the day was that the 1 tablespoon of flour did not hold it together. So I added another, I'm going to say another 3 tablespoons of flour to it, and we're going to try to roll it out again and see if it works better than it did last time. So when I'm rolling out things, I prefer to use plastic wrap over parchment paper when I'm rolling out. Now, the reason for that is I find, especially with the more moist doughs, the ones that you make for, say, for example, flaxseed crackers, the moisture in them tends to soak into the parchment paper, and I don't know, I maybe it doesn't harm it, but I feel like it's weird. So I'm going to grab my rolling pin because I put it away when I finished earlier. And we're just going to roll these out into a thin cracker. And then I've got a couple cute shapes and we're going to shape them out. So we'll see when they cook this time if they hold their shape a little bit better than they did last time. And this may be a work in progress. I did see 4 different recipes for cheese nibs, those kind of knockoff crackers. So I might just really honestly have to play around with the recipe a bit until I find something that we all like. But I'm willing to do that. So I've got a couple cutouts here. I got a couple dinosaurs. So seeing how our theme is dinosaurs today and mermaids, we'll cut out a couple dinosaurs and mermaids. Well, I don't have mermaids, but we'll cut out a couple dinosaurs. And I do have to apologize for the bad karaoke versions of songs. But I found, unfortunately, the sad way that my music was too loud in the videos. And a couple of my videos got blocked from YouTube. So, karaoke music it is, guys. We still appreciate each other. Okay, and then we'll do a couple stars and yeah, we'll do stars for the girls' plate. So we'll do one. Now these ones have white cheddar in them, and then when these ones come out, I'm going to sprinkle them with white cheddar. And then when I bake the other ones later, when I'm done going live with you guys, I'm going to add Frank's Red Hot powder to them and then sprinkle them with Frank's Red Hot because, again, huge fans of the Franks at my house. So these are our ones that we're going to make to go with our little kids' plate today. So let me hold that there so you can see. So we've got 3 dinosaurs and 3 stars, and I'm just going to pop them in the oven with our little chicken nuggets / meat pie and let that go in there together. Now, this is the one that we're going to do in the microwave. So I'm going to put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and go from there. Because again, the only thing that's uncooked in there is the egg. So it really wouldn't take very long to cook a teaspoon of egg is what would be in there. So this is our leftover dough. I'm just going to roll it back up again, and then later when I make up the rest of the crackers, I will re-season it with the spicy stuff for our house. So the beauty of this is that you can make this up in advance and just roll it up in the plastic wrap in your fridge, and when your kids are bugging you for a fresh snack, you can let them roll them out themselves because that's the fun part, and they can have fresh crackers. Or for you guys, I mean, I'm not really a huge goldfish fan, but if you are, I know my guy likes them. And this is part of the reason why we're doing some new interesting recipes. So I want you guys to send me ideas about what snacks you want. Just this Monday, my guy just started doing keto. So at my house, I need some interesting new snacks. For me, I've been doing this for 9 months. So I already know what I like to eat, and I know what he doesn't like that I like. So I need some new ideas, guys. If you have anything interesting, or even if it's a non-keto something and you'd like a keto version of it, send me a message, and I'm looking for fresh ideas. I am going to make some brittle, a keto version, sugar-free version of brittle, and he's pretty excited about that one. But I'm running shy on the new ideas. So now, this is what we're going to do to finish off our dinosaur and mermaid plate. This is a spiralizer, and we're going to spiralize a little bit of zucchini and a little bit of radish. And that's going to be our vegetables for our dinosaur and our mermaid plate. Now, this part, my nephews loved doing when they did lunch prep with me. So I have a feeling your kids are going to dig this part too. And then it leaves you this really cool looking little mushroom. What? And then the same thing, we're going to spiralize some radish. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. Cooked radish doesn't taste like anything. And if you decide that you're going to add color to it, it takes color phenomenally well. So, cooked radish is a really good replacement in my house for potatoes. I use them raw, I use them cooked, but for this, they're going to be our noodles. And then, like I said, we get the cool little mushroom pieces, the mushroom cap and the top, and they're really cool too. When I did the lunch prep again with the boys, and they're 4 and 5, that was their favorite part, was the spiralized vegetables. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Before the live started, they told me they don't like those vegetables, Auntie. But look at how cool and spaghetti they look. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to spread them out on one of each of my plates, so that we've got some for the boys' plate and some for the girls' plate. And I'm going to do more of the radish on the girls because it's got the bits of pink around the outside of it, and stick kind of more to the greener colors for the boys. So we've got our little bit of veggies on there. Now I'm going to add the pretty little mushroom caps to their dishes as well. Now I'm just going to steam these in the microwave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them with a little bit of saran wrap. And then we're going to just steam them. And I do steamed vegetables this way once in a while, especially if I'm just doing a quick little plate. Okay, so our chicken nugget did pretty good on the first 30 seconds. We're going to put it back in for another 30 after we steam these. And I'm going to say it's probably going to take about the same 30 seconds to steam. It's a very small amount of vegetables, so we don't want to overcook it. I did do that this afternoon. I thought I put it on for 30 seconds, and I put it on for 3 minutes. And they looked very thin and very grilled. But I'm going to tell you a secret. I still ate them. And they still tasted really yummy with the pretty neon cheese. What? Okay, speaking of our pretty neon cheese, we're going to take that out now, because as soon as our veggies are steamed, our cheese is going to go right on there. Now, I'm going to take out our crackers and let you guys have a peek of them, because this was definitely the ticket. The extra flour was certainly the ticket to keeping them together. So I'm going to turn them. They're starting to brown a little bit on the sides, so I'm just going to turn them, and then when they come out hot, I'm going to sprinkle them with the white cheddar. Okay, so our veggies are definitely steamed enough. Now, this one is our boys' plate, so we're going to pop out our dinosaur pieces, and then we've got our dinosaurs, and I'm just going to put them on top of the hot veggies so that they melt down. And I think that this is way better than trying to do them with egg and they melted every single time. So I'm going to tip you guys down so you can see how absolutely cute that is. So we've got our steamed veggies and then our 4 little cheese pasta guys. So I'm going to set that one aside, and let's do up the girls' Mermaid macaroni and cheese plate. Okay. And they're so pretty. Like, look at that. The pretty cheese seashells. So beautiful. So pretty. So then we're just going to put our cheese on top. And then this is our Mermaid macaroni and cheese plate. So I will take some good pictures of those for you guys and post them on my feed. Just going to set that aside there so they're ready to take pictures. And then we're going to put this back in the microwave for another 30 seconds, and this is our microwave chicken nugget. And I'm going to take a peek at how these ones are doing in here. We're doing pretty good. We're just about done on those crackers. And I'm curious if you guys want to get together to do a cocktail later this evening or not. It's Friday night. I don't have an awful lot on the go. It's my weekend off. Jacob is gone. So if you guys want to get together and do a cocktail later, let me know, because I kind of feel like it's a slushy cocktail sort of a Friday. So send me a message. Let me know what kind of cocktail you want. I think we should cook something today. I think we should make something. Okay, so I'm going to pull out these beautiful, beautiful goldfish crackers. And while they're still hot, I really held that with the wrong hand. Give me 1 second. Okay, so while they're still hot, we're going to sprinkle them with the white cheddar popcorn flavoring. Okay, so I'm going to lift one up off so you guys can see and try to tilt it for you a little bit better. And I'm going to let those chill, and then I'm just going to add them to the boys' and the girls' plate. And I'm going to take a look and see if our chicken nugget is ready to come out of the oven just yet. Oh. Okay. Okay, just about. I'm going to let this cook just a little bit longer, and then when I post the pictures, I will add pictures of this, as well as the Frank's Red Hot heart-shaped little meat pies. So, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get set up to take your pretty pictures for the feed, and let's get together later for cocktail. Let's say, I don't know, it's early. Let's get together around 8. See you later, guys. Thanks for popping by. Have a great day.